Guys, we are looking at the butterfly guard, and the butterfly guard is like a very popular position, right? And mostly, and we're going to use it as well today. Mostly, butterfly guard involves our traditional sweep where I have some kind of underhook. I take away the posting arm, and then I'm falling and I'm going over to the side. Right? So this is what everybody does for good reason. From butterfly, we have a lot of drags. From butterfly, we have a lot of different attacks where now we can look for triangle, whatever, right? We have all this one, etc. There's a big dimension in butterfly, guys, where instead of staying small here and being like inside of my training partner, being underneath them, I become bigger than they are, and I bring my head above theirs. Okay, and then there's a lot of reasons for this, and a lot of different things can open up once I do this. Right, this is especially going to happen too when there's a little bit of a gap between us. Like if I'm able to make hooks on my training partner, I can start to go already on the inside, and I can already start to like elevate and do a whole bunch of things. Right. But we're going to assume that there's going to be a little bit of a gap. I'm too far away from any meaningful drags, and my partner maybe is a little bit passive and they're retreating and they're not engaging with me, right? So this is one of the best times to do it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to monitor one of their hands. I'm going to tuck the same side leg, and as I tuck that leg, I'm going to do what we do in the warm-up every single day. I'm going to heist up, and I'm going to bring my head above Patrick's head. Patrick is a little taller than me, but I'm going to become taller than him. When I'm coming up, guys, I'm making a shield with my forearm and my shin. I'm doing this kind of shield motion like this. So it looks like this. Here, I'm coming up like that. Guys, when I bring my head above his, if Patrick doesn't do anything, I can even use that to like bully him down and like knock him over and stuff like that. It can happen, especially like in sport BJJ, especially like if Patrick is like a guard player, he doesn't really have a wrestling base. Sometimes I can just like spear him and like knock him over. And you'll be surprised sometimes how well this works, especially if they're on their knees. But as soon as I'm coming up and I'm putting a little bit of pressure, Patrick is going to start to press into me a little bit. As he does that, I'm timing it. I'm going to take away this hand. I'm going to bring my heel to my butt. I'm going to fold him, and I'm going to do my classic sweep. Just like that. Guys, on the landing, sometimes it can get a little fuzzy, all right? One thing that can happen is he can start to bring his hand underneath my leg here and go with the momentum and come out the back door, all right? And now we start all over again almost, right? That can happen. So make sure that you stabilize and you try to go down on their hips, try to get some kind of underhook, try to get some weight on them to prevent them from coming up out the back door as soon as you get the sweep, okay? So again, we're here, our hands are on hands, I'm monitoring his hand, I heist up. Guys, it's very important that my knee is not inside like this. If my knee is inside like this, he can start to wrap his arms around my hips and go towards my back. So my knee and my forearm are become like a shield. I'm pushing into him a little bit. When his head comes forward, I take him up and over, and then right away I'm gonna start to go low on his hips, look to stabilize, look to get my two, all right? Situation number two. Situation number two is as I start to come up, what can happen is exactly, he can be a little cagey and can back up a little bit. Now his hips are further back. Situation number two, he's not grabbing my leg yet. So what I can do, guys, is I can take my leg back, and as I take my leg back, I'm gonna snap Patrick down, just like this in front of me. I'm gonna make him kiss the floor. From here, I gotta replace my hands. I'm gonna take my hand to the outside of his tricep, and I'm gonna circle behind his hips, and now I get my two as well, all right? And from here, I can look to break him down, I can look to do a variety of things. A common error is, as I come up and he's a little bit further back, his hips are a little bit back, and I snap him down, is I run around without replacing my hands. As I run around, if I don't replace my hands, I run right into his underhook or his single leg, and then a lot of times he's gonna be able to pull me back down, and now I gotta start that cycle all over again, all right? So it's very important to block, all right? So again, as you come up, he's a little bit further back, you're gonna feel it. You're gonna feel like, man, I just feel like he's a little too far away, his hips are a little bit too low to do a meaningful butterfly sweep. Step back, and as I step back, I snap him down, I replace. And I'm using that tricep to circle behind him, all right? That's number two. Number three is he's gonna know about number two, so he's gonna grab my leg. As he grabs my leg, I'm gonna go back to number one. All right, so as I'm here, he starts to grab at my leg. What did he do? He anchored himself onto me. So even if his hips are further back, it doesn't matter, because now he connected himself to me. So now it's gonna be pretty easy for me to do number one again. And now same story, I'm gonna look to go for my underhook, look to back up a little bit to make sure that he doesn't reverse me in the process. Because you do get a lot of air sometimes when you're doing this. All right, so the last one is I heist up, he's grabbing me, and as he grabs me, I go back to the number one, I send him up and over, and then now I sit a little bit low, I try to cover his hips, and I'm looking to pass and looking to get to the side control or mount from there. All right, guys, so we have these three situations, all right, that we're gonna start the discussion with, and after we have some guillotine chokes, we have some other attacks that can come after, all right? Any questions, guys? We're good to go? Let's give it a try, guys. Grappling is all about like threats, right? Like when I'm going against someone, like it's all like percentage based. For example, if Patrick is standing, like Patrick can be a 15-time world champion right here. Give me some space, man. Don't crowd me too much. At this time, I don't care how many world championship titles Patrick has, you know, which CGI he won, like everything is okay, okay? But for example, if Patrick gets a body lock on me, here, all right, now the percentage of him taking me down increases significantly, right? And not only that, he can do an inside trip. He can step behind me. He can do a double. He can suplex me, greco-roman. So you can just do so many different things. What can I do now? The things that I can do are limited, right? So that's kind of how fighting is, right? So when we're here, things are pretty much even, right? Like nothing really is happening yet, right? But the action of me heisting up like this opens up one of the most significant threats in grappling, which is the guillotine choke, right? So anytime my head is above his, the guillotine is open. Let's rewind a little bit. So everyone is guilty of this. They see a neck open, and every single person is guilty of this at some point in their jiu-jitsu career. They look to go for the neck like this. Does this look familiar, JJ? And now what's gonna happen? Patrick, go ahead. Bam. Even worse, take my back. Yeah, as I'm trying to go for like a guillotine that doesn't exist, I'm going to his neck. He uses an opportunity to take my back because I overexpose my own self, right? So you don't want to do guillotines like that. You want to have the head come to you. And then when I heist up and now I have my head above his head is right where I want it. Now this grip that I had is a multi-purpose grip. Before I was using it to push. Before I was using it to pull. Here I can just use it to move his head slightly, and now I'm going to cover and bring my armpit over the back of his head. Guys, one of the most important things here is you have to make sure you cover that whole hairline. Like where that purple on his rash guard is, that's where I'm aiming for. You don't want to be like right over here. You want to go super, super deep, just like that. And you want to kind of sink and make your way nice and heavy. My hand that's around his neck is going to be a fist, and I'm bringing it as high as I can towards my own chin, and I'm going to grab my own pinky. Okay, don't overcomplicate that piece. All right, the mechanics are going to be similar for both arm in and armless guillotines, right? Now, what's very important, guys, is that as I fall, there's no slippage. All right, so what I need to do is I got to bring my chin deep on his back. All right, when I have my chin deep on his back, that kind of lines me up. Now when I sit, I'm going to switch my feet on this side, guys. So as I'm starting to switch, I'm going to take my left foot, I'm going to bring it right onto his hip, and I'm going to throw my other leg right over. From here, guys, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring my right elbow up, and my left elbow is going to go to my hip. It's going to make like a little U motion, just like that, and then Patrick is forced to tap. Comes pretty tight. Sorry. All good. Sorry, all right, he's good. He hasn't been here. He's been cutting class. It's fine. He's here. I push him. I cover. As soon as I cover, I make my grip. And now, guys, when we fall, it's like I need to be connected to him as much as I can. So as I sit, I replace my feet, and now I do a little side crunch, and then Patrick is forced to tap. All right. The motion goes like this: elbow to the hip, and the other arm goes up. There's a lot of cool variations. Like the Marcelo team involves my wrist flaring right over his, in between his shoulder and his neck, right over his neck, his trap muscle. This is really, really strong. If you like arm and guillotines, great. Just do it exactly the same way. You can trap it, and now same exact crunch, pulling the thumbs to my chest. It works from there too. So almost any guillotine that you like, the mechanic is going to be pretty similar. Okay, but again, our bodies have to be together. As I'm falling, I have to drag him with me. I have to be connected to him the whole time. All right, so full speed. We're here. We're hand fighting. I heist up. All right, it becomes a pretty quick tap. Okay, cool. Let's give it a try, guys.